Bruh, sorry, I should keep reminding you. We don't want to ping everybody.
Well, I pinged everybody.
Got the event notification.
I'm excited to chat with our community, though.
Hell yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Oh. 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 Oh yeah. We're live.
Voilist, Lottie, Ryder, Kira, Sohaib. How y'all doing? It is about time.
Oh yeah.
Bim is jamming.
Bim headset reveal. Hey, you're gonna be disappointed, let me tell you. It's the same one as last week. Unbelievable stuff.
It's just gotten more broken. He now has duct tape.
Hey, I'm gonna try and fix it right now. I'm gonna try and fix it live on stream with some duct tape while Tim rants about cozy games. What is it? Idle games, Tim? What are you talking about today?
Okay, those are two very different games. Just so you know.
Idle games. He's talking about idle games.
Games that play themselves.
Yep, games that play themselves. Tim is so lazy at this point. He has so little free time. He doesn't even play video games. He only plays the games.
This is exactly why I want to talk about them. This is exactly why.
Hey,
the rep they get is not deserved. Matthew, Mihail, Stefan. What up? All right, we waited enough. I think it's time. Y'all ready for this?
Tim, what are you about to... Don't do it, Tim.
Don't do what? I'm gonna press it.
I'm gonna click. What are you announcing? What are you announcing? Oh, he's announcing it.
I'm announcing what? Hello world, my name is Tim Buswick, and I'm with Ben Buswick, and today we're going to talk about some cool stuff. Mainly auto battles on idle games, because it's a genre that doesn't make sense. It's a genre that when you pitch it, both of them, they sound like, why would I play a game that plays itself? Auto battlers, don't I want to do the battle? Why would you want to? Yeah. But I want to illustrate the sort of games that I'm talking about, and then I want to have a conversation with the community and get their thoughts on them. Yeah, because you know what? I've gotten addicted to them, and I want to...
Auto battlers and idle games? Tim, is that what we're talking about today?
Hello, I was the beans on toast and the auto battlers.
I'll have one beans on toast, a bottle of water, and an auto battler from Steam. Thanks, mate.
In it,
mate.
In it. That's the only British word I know. In it.
That's disappointing.
INNIT.
These live streams just talking, or are you also going to show stuff?
I'm glad you asked that, because we're gonna show stuff.
Showing stuff today.
I'm gonna show stuff, and I'm gonna show my Google tab. That's what we're gonna show.
Hello,
so I want to start by showing off a game that is one of my favorites, and it's called Super Auto Pets.
Tim, you brought this game up on stream so many times. I'm sick of it.
Listen.
I'm sick of it.
I need to illustrate the types of games I'm talking about. Okay, this is important. So the way this game works is you're given a series of animal choices. Okay, that's really bad quality. Okay, you're given a series of animal choices, and you drag them into a slot. Right, you drag them into this section here, and then you just go and auto battle another team that did the same thing. So you bring your pets along, and they bring their pets along, and then you don't do anything. The pets just fight it out. Okay? So at first glance, this game looks so dumb to me. This is like, why? What? This is not even a game. You don't make any choices, or like, it's just battles itself. Okay? Yeah. And that's what most people think. But let me tell you, there's a lot of decisions in this game. And this is where the decisions are. Right here. So each one of these animals has a special ability. Some will say, oh, they'll heal units two tiles back. Or some will say when they get hit, they'll spawn another unit, right? And they all have these special abilities. And because of that, the order of them matters a lot. Some of them buff ones behind them or in front of them. Some of them do different things. Some of them move units around. So there's a lot of strategy in which units you place and where you place them. And it's really interesting. This is the most interesting part of strategy games for me, is figuring out the strategy, right? When you actually have to execute, that's less fun for me. I like when I used to play card games, when I used to play Pokemon or Magic the Gathering or all this stuff, Yu-Gi-Oh! I liked building the decks. And then I would I would play the game because that was fun. And, I want to see if the deck works. But my favorite part was building the deck. And this game is the building a deck equivalent of a game, which I think is super awesome because at first glance, you wouldn't think it works. But when you actually play it, you're like, okay, I can see this. I can see the strategy there. I can see all the stuff and how it works together. And it's very it's very hands-on and it's very simple to learn, which I really appreciate in a game when it's sort of like an iterative approach to playing the game, right? When you have to know a bunch of stuff, and a lot of strategy games are like this, right? You have to know all the stuff to play the game. And so there's a lot of knowledge cramming up front, and it's sort of, it gets you out of the game. But I'm curious if anybody in the chat has played this game, first of all. And second of all, what do you think? Because this is a very successful game financially. 33,000 reviews. It's also on a lot of different platforms. It's on iOS. It's on Android.
Crazy. For a game that plays itself, that's a lot of people playing it. Sounds like tabletop without throwing the dice. No, I said there's a lot of people playing it. Sorry. For a game that plays itself, there's a lot.
Yeah, but the joke is it plays itself, so who's actually playing it?
Right.
See what I'm saying there? Yeah.
It's a bit like a programming mechanism, but I like the deck assembly analogy.
Yeah. And that's always what I had fun with. So I had a lot of fun with this game. There's another game. Let me pull up my Steam library. I'm not going to show it on stream because y'all get your own library. Okay. You don't need mine. The Dungeon Beneath. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So this is a similar concept, except you are in a dungeon and there's these battles that take place between your guys and their guys. But again, there's a positional element to this. So if your last guy back here dies, you lose the game. So these guys all have special abilities and they'll say, oh, they'll buff the guy to the left of them. Or when they get hit, they do this. Or, there's different classes and stuff to position the enemies. There's different races. And then there's also like rings and different like upgrades you can give units. But the battles themselves autoplay. You don't choose what happens in the battle. Yeah. Right. But all of the actual strategy is in building the team and positioning the team.
Sure.
So it's a very like positional strategy game without the actual battle part, which I love, again, because it's very much the deck building analogy versus the playing the game.
Right. So why don't you like playing the game, Tim? After you built the deck,
it's not that I don't like playing the game. I do, but I have so much more fun with the deck building that if I could automate the gameplay, I would just build the deck, see what happens, build the deck, see what happens, build the deck, see what happens. And that's what these games let me do, I think.
Okay. Sounds like this game can either be really fun or really analytical with spreadsheets and strat wikis.
There are people that take them very seriously.
Yeah. I want to play, but my kids interrupt, so something that lets me set things up and then idle the combat is convenient. Yeah. I mean, hey, Tim, is this because...
It's because... What happened to your mic? Oh, we can't hear you now. We lost Bim. His broken ass equipment has finally come to haunt him. Next week, he'll be showing up with duct tape around his head and a headphone hanging off. Unicorn Overlord, the auto tactical combat. Yo, my brother wants that for Christmas. Hold on. I was like, what the hell is that game? I've never seen this game before.
Am I back? Am I back? Are we back?
You are back. I can hear you.
Amazing. Thank you, everybody. This is... Tim paid for all this equipment, by the way. I blame him if it...
No, my equipment works. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I've never seen this game before. My brother literally put it on his Christmas list, and I was like, what is this game
Unicorn
that you're into,
Overlord?
bro? Yeah.
That's insane.
Is this an auto battler?
Time to splurge on a headset. Yeah, it is, honestly. Listen, sometimes, though, I just procrastinate. Look, this one ain't working, but this one works, and I will not buy another headset till this one breaks too. You know what I mean?
Yo, headsets have gotten cheap, though, by the way. There was a lot of really good deals on Black Friday that you missed, Bim. But there's a lot of really good headsets out now. I forget which one I've got, but I love that headset. And it works with Bluetooth, too. So it's a headset that works with Xbox, but it connects to my phone. And you can listen to both of them at the same time. So I can listen to a podcast while I'm playing a video game. And it was like $80.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the idle battler needs. For sure.
Hardcore.
Tim was thinking of not telling them he's back. It just pranked me the whole stream. Told me I wasn't.
I was thinking about it. I'm glad I'm not transparent.
Yep. So
it could be Ben.
Guys, anyone in the chat, do you guys play auto battlers? What do you think? Dr. Puzzler, you were saying it's not for you. I gotta say it's not for me either. There was one auto battler that I played. It was part of a feedback session. I've brought it up on stream before for those that might remember. It's called... Let me pull it up. Actually, give me 1 second.
Pull her up.
Library. It's called Tim. I don't know if you can search it on Steam if that's where you are right now.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's called Flawed Tactics, and there was a guy in the stream called Flawed who was here the other week.
Flawed?
He's a FLAWED.
Oh right, we're dealing with the
Flawed, mate. Get on the floor. Flawed Tactics is how we say it. And yeah, it was kind of fun, actually. It was the best part about it for me was the speed at which I could get through rounds, right? The kind of the gameplay loop and the feedback loop was real fast. You know, you set up the deck, that's where you spend your time, and you can put it on fast forward, you can get through it. Yeah, everybody's saying maybe it's fun. Flawed Games, that's me, just logged in, crazy. The GOAT. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Flawed Games. We were just looking at that. Yeah, we're just talking about auto
featuring your stuff.
Featuring your stuff. Like them for a week or two each. Any that last a month are great to me. Yeah, I haven't. Hey, this.
Yeah, you know what? I normalize that, please, because like it's okay to play a game for an hour or for a week. I don't think you need. My brother likes to play these games that are like, I must spend 200 hours and 2,000 hours and master everything about this thing. I'm like, look, if I get that some people like that, you can go for that, but it's also okay to buy a thing for $10, spend 2 hours in it, have a good time, and never touch it again.
Okay,
I think that's fine.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Suddenly, I feel like I'm defending. Oh my god,
is Tim a gamer? Is this gaming? Tim says, I'm a gamer, and then he like presses play on his game and goes off to look after the kid while the game plays itself. That's crazy. I remember this game from the GDU event a while back. Yeah, we played it on stream, Puzzler. We did, we were doing a feedback event. Speaking of which, there's one in 2 weeks. That's crazy. We also got an event on Friday.
Definitely subscribe to the Discord events in our Discord chat because there's a lot of cool stuff coming up, especially for Christmas.
Feedback in 2 weeks, and on Friday, so 2 days, we got a group game design event. So that should be cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're interested, check it out on the Discord.
Best part is the market based on auto balancing. Bunny's overpowered and everyone is buying them. They cost more. Meta develops where dragons are cheap because nobody's buying. They auto adjust. Yeah. The economy is a big part of some of these games. Yeah.
Tim uses his Steam Deck so he can sit down and let it play itself.
Do I not have any support in this chat?
He spent all that time promoting the Steam Deck. It's like the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. And then just comes on stream next week. Guys, you got to try these games that play themselves. I don't even have to use the Steam Deck. What is going on? Someone in this chat probably splurged on
Nobody here play auto battlers. Are you kidding me? Nobody. Like nobody this amazing genre of games. No, but is there a whole genre for this auto battler? There's got to be.
Has to be.
Well, I know there's one for Idle. We're gonna get into Idle, and it's gonna get worse. If you think auto
battlers and the three people that play them, they have a genre on Steam. Okay, Idle games, bruh. What even is that?
No, hold on. We're not there yet. We're not there. We're not there yet.
I don't know if I want to go there.
I'm still defending auto.
That's awful. That is awful.
What are these? I've never seen.
Flawed, as somebody who developed an auto battler, what was the appeal of it for you? Like, what was the fun? It almost seems like the kind of game that's more fun to make than play, because you're by developing the game, you're building the systems by which the game plays. You almost don't need, because you don't need player input necessarily. Well, you do, right, to an extent, but because you don't, it's like, I don't know.
No, see, that's a flawed assumption. Okay, flawed tactics, flawed assumption.
Maybe
you do need player input, but the player input are the overarching decisions, not the battle themselves.
Right.
Player input is what unit to place where, which is still a very strategic choice. It just you don't actually click the attack button.
Right. Right.
And look, dude, let's take StarCraft, right? You're choosing what base to build, you're choosing what units to build, then you're dragging your mouse and you're choosing where the units go and all that. But imagine if the units just attacked the other player all by themselves. That would still be a fun game because you could still choose the economy of like what buildings to build, what units to build, and if you give the units specific abilities and specific AI behaviors. Dude, you play fucking Clash of Clans. There's no auto battling in that game.
Hang on. Now hang on. Whoa, wait a second. Wait a second. Did Tim just get me? Hang on. Tim, is Clash of Clans?
Let's look this up.
Is Clash of Clans an auto battler? Technically, I think
it has right. Auto battling elements
in it.
But the choice is where to place the character, not whether or not the character attacks.
I don't know though. That's not really the appeal of the. That's like a very small portion of the game. I don't know.
What's the other part of the game? Building your base to defend against those same characters?
Yeah, but the building of the base is the fun part. Like that's what I play it for anyway.
You're making my point and making fun of me at the same time. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I do.
You don't need the whole loop. You can just have a part of it and get rid of the battle part.
I'm old and don't want anything being reflex based. I want it to be pure strategy. Auto battle is a pure strategy, no reflex.
That is a great point. I do not like reflex based games either. I am not old though.
Sure, Tim. Sure, buddy.
I'm young. Okay.
Yeah, he's very young. He has bad reflexes. That's crazy.
I do though. I'm pretty clumsy. I don't know why. I knock shit over sometimes.
Do you consider Halo Wars an auto battler?
No, that's an RTS.
Okay. So that's like a midpoint between the moment to moment. That's a middle ground. That's like a step closer.
Yeah, well, because your characters will sit there and do nothing if you don't tell them what to do. Like they might shoot back if other characters attack them, but like Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, they have auto battling elements because the characters go and they have objectives. I actually think Clash Royale is a better example too, because Clash Royale not only does it have different characters and different abilities, but the actual characters target different buildings.
Yes.
So like some of the dudes will target these accept all cookies. Some of the dudes will target the king towers, some of the dudes will target these. So like all that's done for you. You don't have to like make that choice.
Yeah.
But you make the choice to play the actual character, right?
Hang on, so Floyd's saying if there's any interaction in the middle of a battle, it's not an auto battler. Right, so Clash of Clans and Clash Royale are not auto battlers, not by that definition, because you can intervene.
No,
fight.
I would say that they have auto battling elements. That's the word that I would use. I wouldn't say they're straight up auto battlers.
Sure. Yeah, and I think I think like people have been saying in the chat, I think it appeals to the people who don't. I think, Tim, do you consider
Watch
them
your
less?
Words, Bim.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think of my words? Do you consider auto battling less effort, less investment than no? You don't think so?
I think they're lighter games,
right?
But I think the strategic choice is still plenty valid. Like I think it's still an interesting decision, right? Sid Meier said, "What are games? A series of interesting decisions."
Sure.
So an auto battler still has a series of interesting decisions.
Right.
It takes out the battle part, and we're so used to games where the whole game is battle, shooting games, fighting games, like the whole game is battle, that I think people that don't understand the genre are like, whoa, you're automating the whole game, but that's not really what's happening.
Right,
it's just
right.
The battle part is the lesser important part, and the strategic decisions is the more important part.
People are so used to their paradigm of what a game is that they think it's not. They think it's something. Yeah, they're so used to the gameplay loop of fighting in games and the moment to moment action that they don't consider anything else to sort of be a game. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I see that. Yeah, that's interesting. Tim Carhill says, "Tim, you are handsome." Hey, that's why you come to the stream.
Thank you, Flawed. This is my point earlier. Okay, never mind, Bim. Bim just
watching Tim debate is an auto battler if you think about it. Coming to stream is an auto battler. Yeah, well, no, actually, it's not, because you didn't really you didn't place us here before you came, but yeah,
there was no strategic decision.
There was no strategic. Well, look, other than showing up, I guess. Bim, you are handsome too. Nice headset. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
All right. Now,
what were you talking about, Tim?
Now, all of my lovely goodwill that I've just earned by talking about auto battlers is about to be lost.
Amazing.
Because now we're going to talk about Cookie Clicker.
Oh no, Tim.
Okay. This is different than an auto battler is an idler or a clicker game. Okay. And I want to listen. Hold on with that face with your broken ass earphone. Hold on. All right. This is Cookie Clicker. I'm just gonna show you guys the the game. So this game, you click the giant cookie and you earn cookies, and then you use that cookie to automate the clicking of the giant cookie to earn more cookies. And that's the whole game. But okay, here's the thing. These are this is a couple different genres. I think it's an idle game. I think it's a clicker game, and I also think it's what's called an incremental game. Okay. At first glance, this has similar problems. You might think, okay, well, Tim just made an essay on auto battlers, and I may have convinced some people. But now we're talking about clicking games where there's not even any real gameplay other than just clicking, and then sometimes you automate the clicking. So it's like, what do you even do? This is really interesting to me because on one hand, it seems like a completely empty premise that has no interesting decisions. But on the other hand, this entire game is built around the idea of min-maxing. So if you've ever played an RPG and you're like, oh, I got the sword of truth, but I also have like the gun of death, and like one of them is 10% bonus on acid enemies and the other one's like 15% bonus on like I don't know, zombies, then
and on that wonderful note, Tim's he's back, god damn it. Tim, your mic cut out for a second and I rejoiced.
Did it?
But,
can you still hear me? You rejoiced.
We're back.
Okay.
Does anybody here play this? Let's be real for a second. Can we get a show of hands? Does anyone here actually play games like this? I just want to know. You know,
I bring this up because this is the most popular example, but there's a lot of games that are actually have a lot more depth than this. Yeah.
Okay.
That I personally wouldn't play this game because this is just a little too blank for me. But there's a lot of games. I'm going to get into the genre and talk about this stuff a little bit more.
Are there any decisions in clicker games? There's one decision, and it's whether you close the game down or not. And if you don't make that decision, then I'm sorry, you lose.
Okay, so the decision in Cookie Clicker are these little upgrades right here. Okay, first of all, there's a lot of them, but like let's keep it basic because I don't want to explain the whole game and dive too much into this game. But basically, let's say there's a decision like, should you spend 200 cookies to make it so that every time you click once, it actually gives you 2 cookies instead of 1, right? So now every time you click, you get 2 cookies, and then you earn a bunch of cookies, and then you upgrade that again. So it's like, okay, now every time I click, I get 4 cookies, but that costs me 1,000 cookies. So, and these games have humor in them too. They're sort of self-aware. That's part of the genre. Like, you know, this is making fun of the fact that you're earning 1.47 billion cookies every minute when you get into the game. So it like they're humorous in the fact that you can, like, grandma is one of the upgrades because she bakes cookies for you, for example. And then some of these games go extreme too. Like once you've got the alchemy lab, then you like switch dimensions and you take over Earth with all of the cookies on Earth. So then you have to go to different planets to like upgrade your cookies, and then planets aren't enough, so you have to go in alternate dimensions.
Tim, we get it. Okay. Now let's extract something useful for the people here. All right, what lessons can we take from this? Okay, why? Let's view this positively.
Sorry, I got
why
excited.
Why these are as addictive as they are, and is there anything actionable we can take from games like this that seemingly are nothing, right? Other than just keep tapping the screen, and what can we learn from this? What does this do well?
Yeah.
What can we actually take away from these?
Here is the fun game mechanic in a lot of games like this.
Okay, it
is number go up. Min-maxing. No, but think about how many games number go up is a mechanic, right?
Yeah.
You've got XP meters, you've got level up bars, you've got bonuses, you've got all that stuff. Those are in a lot of games. This game just says, hey, we don't need the whole game around it. Let's just have that part, which I think is a big part of why people play games, to be honest. My brother was telling me this the other day, that when he plays an RPG and he gets from level 6 to level 10 and he defeats a bunch of stuff and he earns some weapons, he feels a sense of accomplishment. So he can like go to bed and be like, okay, I did a thing, right? Whether or not there's any merit to that, who knows?
Sure.
But feeling a sense of accomplishment is still important. And I think entertaining yourself is important too. Like having a good time.
I think, honestly, number go up is like the wisest thing we've ever said on stream. It's actually insane. And because when you think about the core mechanic of most games you played, whether they're super complicated or not, it's number go up, right?
Yeah.
It's just how it's what's the context of the number, what kind of number is it, and how do you make the number go up that changes, right?
Yeah.
And that's that's true. I mean, I love Call of Duty Zombies. If anybody has played COD Zombies before,
this is why you're my wife, Alyssa.
Is that Geo game I play a click? Wait, is that Geo game I play a click?
No, she's talking about GeoGuessrs.
Oh.
But she's a clicker person.
She's a clicker
So,
person.
yeah.
But listen, if anyone has played Call of Duty Zombies, right? You kill zombies, which is number of kills, and also you earn points per kill, and the aim is to just earn as many points as you can, which is number go up, right? So in both instances, there's two different numbers go up. But Flawed, I love this point that you've made. They're addictive because peeps like building a machine and seeing it work. That's insane. That's wisdom right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you're taking anything away from this, that can be applied to so many games. It's actually unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, this is why I relate them to auto battlers. They're not the same genre, but it's similar in that you're building the deck, not playing the game in that sense. You're building the machine to play the game, basically. And I think there's a lot of interesting decisions in that. Specifically with incremental games, they're exponential as well. So the whole game is min-maxing. Like, should I buy this thing to upgrade that, or should I buy this thing to upgrade that? And which thing is going to get me more of the thing? Yeah. And so generally, I think, these games, for me, when I play them, they might take a half hour and a half of my time, and I may never play them again. Some of them got me a little bit longer, but they're like, I think they're cool little, basically Steam Deck or iPad games. Like, I think they make good mobile type of games too. I wouldn't necessarily like sit down on my PC to play them. Even though the mobile version of Cookie Clicker is not the same thing as this one, which I looked at last night. But yeah, it's interesting because I had actually the same perspective as you did, Bim, when I started looking at these. I was like, I don't want games that play themselves. Those aren't games. Like, I'm gonna be very against them. But then I started to get introduced to them, and I'm like, you know what? I like the lighter games. You've known this for a long time. I like sort of lighter games that don't take my full attention. And I like strategic decisions. So min-maxing, incremental upgrades, and that kind of stuff too. Yeah,
you like an easy to understand system, or at least one, even if it gets complicated, right? It's a real easy learning curve, right? And it doesn't require too much attention. You got immediate feedback, immediate dopamine hits, right? It's you can see for sure. And I agree with that. And I think that the games that are the most fun to play, I think the games that really strike gold are a combination of they take this really basic concept, and then they fluff it out in all the right ways with story and pacing and this and that, right? And they find out how to combine the two, which is amazing. Number go up, neuron activity, literally as simple as that. So it seems, especially in Tim's brain. How many people restart survival crafting games after you get so far into the game? For real.
Because what happens is, like, you get to a point where the upgrades or the dopamine hits or the cycle is too slow, right? Yeah. Or there's no clear next step, and you're just kind of like, this is boring. I don't think I've ever finished a game of Civilization. Wow. You know how many I've started? I've started so many, and I've played so many. I've spent hundreds of hours in that game, but I don't think I've ever finished one.
No. Because I don't know what it is. The game devs, when it comes to finishing the end game, right? They just forget what true people do.
Here's the thing. Let me go back to Cookie Clicker for a second, because this is something that these games actually do really well. They're math games at their core, and so there's an exponential curve on what you're gaining, but also the cost of items. So as you can see in the screenshot, it says 1,000 sextillion cookies, and you're getting 9 trillion cookies per second in the screenshot. Okay.
Right.
So it doesn't start out that way. You start by clicking and getting 1 cookie, right?
Yeah.
And then you get 2 cookies, and then you get 4 cookies, and then you get 8 cookies. And so it's sort of, this exponential curve keeps up with your brain in a way that other games don't, because you're earning more and more money, or in this case, cookies, for doing the thing, but the upgrades are also costing more and more money. So while you're doing the same thing, if you actually look at it and you take the numbers out of it, with the numbers going up, it still feels like major progress. Which is interesting.
That's 1, not 1,000.
Oh yeah, that's 116. You are correct on that. I read that wrong.
Because I just the game. Yeah, well, that's why I find that I think for me, back when I first started my game dev journey and getting into modding and stuff, one thing I would enjoy doing was finding glitches and exploits in games, right? Get as much stuff as you can, just get the highest thing. I was really big into glitches. But what I found again and again and again and again and again is that if in a lot of these early games especially, there's a lot of glitches and tricks and stuff you can use to max out your characters and the levels and beat everything easily, is that the game actually just doesn't become fun anymore. If number ain't going up anymore, if I got everything, I don't want to play. I actually need to not cheat, I guess. You need to not...
I think you'd get addicted to these games, Bim.
Maybe.
I think as much as you make fun of them, I think you'd get addicted to them.
Chat, if I'm not here
number
next
keep going up. Yeah. Another point that somebody in the chat brought up, Fatal Blend. Clickers allow you to restart the game and get benefits for it, which resets the cycle. So a lot of them have prestige settings or options. So you can say, okay, I got a sextillion cookies. I don't need any more cookies. Let me restart. But you get to restart with like your current upgrades. So then you go through that whole loop, but you just go through it way faster. And it's super satisfying because now you're like, oh, I'm getting 10 cookies a second right off the bat, and then 20 cookies or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can do that as many times as you want.
What's really fun is thinking about games like bigger AAA titles even that do this without you realizing they're doing it. That's actually,
about Call of Duty?
I'm thinking about Call of Duty. I'm thinking about Halo. I'm thinking about all these... basically any game where you level up, right? Yeah, number go up.
Yeah.
And the games that people struggle with the most generally, right, are story-based games, right? More kind of intense in-depth games and stuff like that. And I guess maybe this is probably why as well, partly is because there's no there isn't necessarily an XP system, there's no number go up, right? It requires your entire investment. So if you can think of a way to incorporate this kind of thing, hey, maybe this is how you do it.
Humans like making progress. And it's a weird thing in human psychology where like we like to make better things and build better things and just make progress.
Yeah.
And maybe partially is culture. I think in the US for sure, like productivity is like a cultural thing that you need to do to be a member of society. But these games allow you to feel that. And if you think about games as just entertainment, sort of, what's the word? Like feel-good simulators or enjoyment simulators, what's the difference between this and a different game, right? Like you're still staring at a screen, you're still clicking your mouse, and then you're feeling something based on the feedback you get, right? So if you really boil it down to its core, I mean, other than like multiplayer games, which is a completely different experience because you're playing with your friends and all that, like, you get different things from different games, sure, but at the end of the day, it's still like a simulation of enjoyment and just relaxation.
Yeah, for real. Call of Duty's numbers go up, plus achievements, plus unlocks like mastery. Yeah, that was satisfying sounds, animations. Dude, it's crazy how predatory, right? I mean, these are tactics. Social media is like this, right? There's some famous statistic about how, social media apps are designed to be more addictive than like drugs. And this, I guess stuff like this is how they do it, right? Is they hack into your systems that you don't even know you had. And make the most of them. Power fantasy is a generalized numbers go up for sure as well. Yeah, no, for real. So Tim, does this ever get boring? What are the downsides to this? Because right now we're just talking like this is the be all end all of video game. You want to make an addictive game, number go up. That's all you got to do. But that can't be the case. So where does
it's not the case. I think different games fail at different points. And also different games communicate better with different brains too. So like my brain is a very systems focused game. So it makes sense. I like our systems focused brain. So it makes sense that I like building systems in games. I think the downside to some of these games is that the sort of dopamine cycle is so rapid that, We don't know what other effects that has. And like, for example, I probably, when my daughter is old enough, I probably wouldn't let her play games like this.
Interesting. Okay. Why?
Just
too addictive?
Yeah, because the dopamine cycle is so quick. It's so rapid. The feedback is so, rapid. But I do think there's a lot of brains that sort of struggle with dopamine too. Like there's a lot of neurodivergence and stuff like that where you may not get the same feedback other people get. And I think that these type of games can be very beneficial to that kind of thing, therapeutically and stuff like that as well. But for like a growing brain, a training brain, and this is not expert advice. I don't know shit about any of this. This is like my
if you've got a kid in the audience
opinion, okay? But like my opinion is that the dopamine cycle is very rapid in these games, and I'm very aware of that. And I think if you're training a brain, my uneducated opinion is that you probably want to space that out more. You know what I mean? Because life is not like this. Life does not give you rapid progression like this. Like, game development to try and release a game can take years.
Yeah.
And there's giant slumps, right, in a big project.
Yeah.
And skills take a long time to master. They don't have these rapid dopamine hits. So I think they're a little bit dangerous from that. And there are definitely people with highly addictive personalities definitely, I think, fall prey to this. This is essentially a slot machine.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not exactly the same as a slot machine because I think that's the sort of random drops a little bit, but it's got a lot of the same visual and auditory feedback that a slot machine uses to sort of attract you.
Keep your attention.
Lights and sounds I
have a friend who has quite extreme ADHD, and he's like bad ADHD, sort of interfering with life type of thing, and he's addicted to this game. He has been for years.
This specific game, Cookie Clickers?
Clicker specifically, yes. And you can see why. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Alyssa, someone ban Alyssa. Get her out of here. Nothing wrong with.
Okay, hold on. Let me just brag about my wife for a second.
She's an expert gambler.
When I met her, she was like, "Let's go to a casino," and I got scared. I'm like, "Hold on,
no way."
Casinos in my life have been like, you don't go in those places because they take your money. But I've been in a casino 3 times with her, and 3 times we've walked out with more money than we've spent. And all 3 times we've been in the casino for less than an hour. So feels kind of like highway robbery going in the casino with her. I don't know what magic juju she has, but I'm saying we go in there, we look at the slot machines, she like looks at a bunch of stuff and she's like, this one. And then she picks one and she plays for like 20 minutes and then we make money and then we leave. And that's been my whole experience.
The moral of the story here is, chat, if you want to go gambling, go with Tim's wife. That's it. Okay.
She's taken, so she only goes with me now.
What did she play? She played with Tim's heart. That's what she did. Guys,
she played with my wallet at first because the first time we went in, I gave her I had $20, so I was like, all right, this is all we're spending because I was 100% sure we are gonna lose money. She spends it in like 10 seconds, and then she asked me for 100, and I'm like, shit.
Rick Davidson,
I'm like, I don't think this is a good idea.
If anyone above me and Tim is watching this stream right now, we do not condone gambling. Nobody go gambling, please. Tim is not saying you should go and do it for money. Okay? He's just saying he made money gambling. So, take from that one.
I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying Alyssa's really good at it for whatever reason.
Cool.
Yeah, but so we should actually talk about gambling one day for a stream because there's a lot of tactics that casino games use that I think are really interesting and valuable to game developers.
Yeah. We're talking about what we were talking about before, which is where do these fail? But thank you for going on a tangent about gambling with your wife. That's what we want on stream. Flawed is saying players want to feel discover the path for numbers to go up. They're too easy. They can't fool themselves. That's right, Flawed. You are correct. Okay. If it's but Flawed, I would say, hang on a second. If that's true, how come Cookie Clicker is so popular and addictive and yada yada, right? Because it feels like, and maybe Tim, you can correct me here, Cookie Clicker is real easy. You're just clicking, right? Do you feel like you've earned the progress you've made, or does it just get a?
Well, here's the key point of what Flawed said. Players want to feel they've earned or discovered the path the numbers go up. Right. So when you play this game, you do a series of upgrades and you actually get positive feedback from your series of choices. It doesn't really think about it. It doesn't really matter which path you go because you don't actually know the math on the path you didn't take. So you feel like your path was the best one.
Best path. Right. Sure. Yeah.
So you feel that way at the end of it, which, if you think about it from like let's put a camera above our heads and pretend we're all Sims, and you watch your Sim go to a computer and then they sit down and then they feel good and then they leave. Is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Your little Sims are going up to this little black box and then feeling good? Like that can be, I can see the benefits to that. Right. Yeah. Like, yeah. Why do you? I don't know where your brain's going with that one.
I often go up to my computer and leave feeling good. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get fired, man.
Oh yeah, we are. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This is the last stream. This is it. This is it.
Anyway, auto battlers and idle games. They're fun. Gambling. I like them. Yes, this was a huge deal. If you guys ever played Vampire Survivors, one of the dev did work on gambling machines, and he had a lot of experience with casino games. And that's one of the reasons why the upgrades are so satisfying in that game, and that game did super well.
Yeah, Jason, that's
started a genre.
Unless you're wrong, the dev of used to work in an online gambling company.
I feel like every time you do that, I feel like I have to look over it. Like it's like I'm like
over the. Yeah,
hey guys,
I agree with that. Yeah. That's really interesting because you think gambling. It's almost like taking. I guess it's just like taking the pieces that work and applying them in a sort of non-predatory way, right? Which is good. I guess,
let's define predatory because there's a lot of people that believe some of these mechanics are inherently predatory all by themselves.
Right.
To me, predatory is using a thing for your own financial advantage in the case of games, right? Sure. So if you are using these tactics to mine money out of people, I think you could consider that predatory.
Right.
Right. If you're using these tactics specifically to get money, some people call that monetization in mobile games. I think there's a lot of tactics that hack into someone's psyche and sort of gets them to take an action. And if that action is moving money from their pocket to yours,
right?
I think an argument could be made that you're predatory.
Sure.
But if the effect of it is give joy, make them play a little bit longer to get more happiness, I don't necessarily find that predatory.
Yeah, I don't think it. Yeah, if you're using techniques to keep player retention, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. If you're keeping my attention, if you're keeping me invested, if you're keeping me playing, to be honest, we often praise games for that, right? It's got replayability. It's fun to play. Yeah. I'm addicted to it. We often say, hey, this game is great for that reason. But if it's when it starts doing that with your wallet, that's when it's like, okay, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just reading the chat.
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much, Tim. BIM browser reveal when? So we're doing that right now. No. Typically, predatory is seen as morally wrong. Yes, it is. Well, the word predatory. That's what it means, right? That's the. But it means by definition to exploit people. I think it. In the context of games, Tim's right. It's more than often used in the context of exploiting people for their money. I think games exploiting people for their time is just inherent to game development. I think.
I think exploiting them for their time is the wrong word. I think, first of all, I want to acknowledge that there are personality types and there are brains that definitely are more prone to addiction than others.
Yeah.
And that a general game made with some cool things to like keep a player's interest and attention might actually be derailing for some people with an addictive personality. Like addiction runs in my family. I've seen what addictive personalities can do with a normal like substance, let alone like, something that's designed with like dopamine triggers and stuff like that. So I acknowledge that anything can kind of be dangerous with a certain personality type, and you have to like manage yourself with gaming in general. Like there are people that are addicted to gaming, right? They spend 12, 14 hours a day playing all kinds of games.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Is keeping people playing Predatory and not just basic design? Well, yeah, the writer, that's what we're talking about now. That's the question. How much?
What? Back up, bro.
What?
What happened to your volume? Did you turn that up? You're like
Am I really loud?
Did you finger hit the volume knob on your mic? Am I crazy or y'all hear that too?
Am I really loud?
It's like,
what about now? Now I'm gonna keep talking. Now. Am I really loud? Chat. What are we saying? Is did Tim's headphones just break as well? Whoa! Am I still loud?
Bim, what happened, dude?
Chat. Is this me? I think it did.
Yeah, it's like blown out.
Tim, keep the people what they want. Keep them entertained. I'll be back in a second.
Did get a little louder. Don't scream mustard. Don't do that. New headphones. I agree with that. Cleaning the blood from my ears. Just check your gain levels on your mic. I think you might have hit it because it was instant. Anyway. So any general thoughts to wrap up our conversation, because our stream's coming to an end anyway. Any random thoughts on auto battlers, on idle games, or anything we talked about? I think there's a lot of lessons here. I think number go up is a big one. I think letting people upgrade their stuff rapidly and often, I think is a good one. That applies to most games. Why? Okay, I'm just gonna ignore what he's doing. I can't hear you at all now. You just okay. Anyway, thank you for coming to the Tim stream. Anyone else here ringing? Yeah, well, these headphones cancel all the noise. So when Bim did that, it was like the Lord God Bim existed in my ears. We can't hear you at all now, bro. I don't know what happened to your audio. Next week, maybe we talk factory games. Feels like a nice jump from this week's topic. That's an interesting one. Maybe we can pull that off. What's the date for next week's stream? The 11th? Yeah. I like factory games. We could talk about that. Maybe I'll spruce up on my knowledge this week and play a few. I think many devs, myself included, significantly underestimate the difficulty in game design auto battlers need. Yes, and that was kind of my point. Is like they seem like they're a lack of a game, but really they're games on overdrive. They take a lot of systems design and a lot of you have to get the upgrade path right. You have to get the other aspects of your game right and all that stuff.
Tim, am I here?
Yes, now you're back.
Amazing.
It's fine.
And it's fine?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tim will be paying for your medical bills if you need to go to the hospital because of that. So thanks very much. Bill him. Tim
sent me a message while he was quiet and said, "Do you want me to start?"
No, I sent you that at the beginning of the stream.
What?
I sent you that before the stream when you disappeared to upgrade the payment
yeah, that
plan.
Was an hour ago. Okay, that didn't make any sense.
Thanks a mil.
I don't know why I responded to it right now then.
Amazing. Bim sad staring. You get me, Stefan. You get me, man. Woman, man, whatever. I don't know, but you get me. Okay. Listen, chat. I got to put up with so much of Tim's technical issues before the stream. All my technical issues come out during the stream. It's a real tragedy.
We trade off. It's fine.
We do. Yeah. But But yeah, just before we wrap up, I just want to plug once again our event. If you enjoy these streams, if you enjoy this kind of vibe, we got an event in 2 days' time on Friday, group game design event. We'll be putting our heads together, brainstorming, coming up with some cool stuff. Devious Oatmeal, who's in the chat, he co-hosts with me, so we'll be there. We'll be chilling. We'll be hanging out. So if you enjoy that, come along. Come along. It's in the Discord. It won't be live streamed, and we will not ping everyone. We will be pinging, like Tim does every week. Unfortunately, we will be pinging event notifications. So if you want to be pinged, you go to, where is it, Tim? Notification prefs right there, and you boom.
And events would be the calendar. This one.
Yes.
Click this one.
Click this if you want to be notified when the event goes live, and we'll be hanging out on Discord, talking about group game, doing a little group game design with my busted.
So community hangout. Listen, it's Friday.
If enough of you come, I will fix my headphones live on stream. I will do it.
How? I
will buy new ones and unbox them on
stream. Can you just buy some duct tape or something? Do you really like it dangling like that?
Tim, I've tried.
No, that's electrical tape. That shit should not be near your hair. That stuff comes apart and is sticky and okay.
Pretty sure this is listen, Tim. Listen.
I said duct tape.
Okay, but I tried.
D-U-C-T.
But I tried.
Not electrical tape.
Thanks, Tim.
Don't do that. Okay. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.
We appreciate you coming out.
Putting up with us.
Y'all the best. Shenanigan. I really love that word. Shenaniganery. I got obsessed with it for like 2 weeks. And my wife got really upset. She's like, stop saying that word. That and the word bougie. I really like the word bougie. And I don't know why. It's just a good word. Sometimes they're just good words and they feel fun to say. And you just got to say them.
But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate you all, Kira, Stefan, Nolan, the writer. I'm plugging in my mic right now back into its stand. If you can hear annoying noises, that's what that is. Could just be Tim. Devious. Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody. Bye.